Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. Today I am weeding this long flower bed along in front of the house. I decided to cut it up in like 10-foot sections a day. So by the end of the week I'll have from one end to the other done. We've got storms moving in and I'm hoping to get like over to this lemon thread cypress. I'm hoping to get this cleaned out today, and then luckily, if I'm lucky, it won't rain tomorrow and I can get another 10 foot of it or so done. Anyway, I got my tools to get these wild onions out. The that bud planter works really well for that. Forgot to get my bucket to put those in, so I have to go get that and get started weeding. So if you can't get all your weeds at one trip, cut it up into days. It makes it easier on you, especially as you get older. I've been up all night. I just got off work about an hour ago, and when you get older, you just got to cut things up into little slices of pie to get it done. So I'm gonna get started on this, and I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. Okay, so I've got the weeds out down to here. This spot has always been a issue for me. Don't know what to do with it. I did put a Ellie Stevens holly in there. I thought about keeping it, letting it grow maybe 5-6 foot, keeping it in a cone shape so I can decorate it at Christmas time. But I don't know if I'll leave it there or not. I had it one time fixed a wire thing and put all those rocks in it, but that got tore up, so the rocks wound up back on the ground. But one of these days I'll figure out what to do with it. I got this planted up yesterday. And one thing I do want to do, after I get all this bed cleaned out, I want to divide these out. And I'd like to take them, once I get the weeds under control that's trying to come back up in this walkway. That removed grass is a pain to kill. I'd like to line the outer side of this walkway with it. Well, not the outer side, but the inner side of it. But there's my mess. Now I throw the onions in a bucket, and they stay in that bucket until it rains, and they sit there and sour and rot. That way when I put them in my compost pile, they don't sprout and take root. If you'll stick them in some water and let them rot. I've got to get the creeping Jenny out of this walkway where it's trying to grow down and take over my rock bed. Why did I throw that on the ground? Get that up. But like I said, this has been however, like I said, this area right here has been an issue for me, trying to figure out what to do with it. Because I really don't want a tall tree up against the house. And the Nellie Stevens holly will make a tree if you let it. I need to find me an evergreen that grows maybe 6 foot tall and move that Nellie Stevens holly over on the outside of that fence on our property. I don't want to put in Alberta spruce because they grow really, really slow. Because it took 20 years for the one at our other house to get as tall as me. My biggest issue of getting weeds out is these wild onions or wild garlic, whichever you want to call them. The clover. And I've saved the worst part for last. And that's getting this cleaned out. Don't know what that stuff is. But it seems like no matter how much I pull it or spray it, it still comes back. Well guys, that's my video for today. I just wanted to show you my process of how I'm going to get the weeds out of that front flower bed. And I'm just going to take one day at a time, 10 foot at a time, until it's done. Like I said, when you're getting older, you've got to well, I guess you got to, but it don't hurt to, set you a limit. I work on third shift, so by the time I get off work, I'm tired. And since I got hurt last year, I noticed it's aged me. That I just don't feel like doing things a lot of times. This whole week, I had 3 days off because my schedule changed, and I couldn't talk myself into doing hardly anything. I've got to get back into my routine of doing stuff. Got out of the habit. Just laying around, resting, sleeping. I kind of got myself into that little rut, and I've got to get myself back out of that rut. Sometimes it takes you a while. And if you have depression, it can take you even longer. You've got to force yourself to get up and do things. I know I've battled depression before, and I would really just have to force myself to do something. Once I did, I got to feeling better. But, take 5-10 foot at a time. Get your weeds out of your beds. Plant flowers. Plant your vegetable garden. Just do a little bit a day. And you eventually, in a week or two, you'll see you've got it all done and got it under control. It's going to take me a little while to get this under control again, but I will do it maybe 10 foot at a time. So thank you for joining me, and call that, weed, no, the bud plant. I really like that for getting them onions out. It makes it so much easier. Plus, when you pull the dirt falls out, that clod dirt falls out, you check and make sure you got the buds out. That one hole I did, I could look in the hole and see there was still buds in there, so I was able to go back in and get them out. That little, I gotta clean them up. This little digger, I really like it. I wished it was made a little better, had a better handle, but as far as digging in your ground, those weeds at that point really helps get to those roots. And I'm still happy with the Friskers hand digger I bought. My son got me this hat for Mother's Day, and he got me the little trimmers. These are Corona. My gardening gloves, I just picked them up at Walmart. It's cheap. They just cheap to get those as opposed to get the Scott's branded Lowe's that I usually get. They work out about the same. I put a pair on the other day and I thought, boy, they stink. They smell like. I put a pair on the other day and I thought, boy, they stink. They smell like something dead and rotten. I realized it was before I'd been handling all them wild onions. So I didn't have to throw them away. I was ready to throw them, pitch them. I thought, well, I'd never buy them again, but it finally dawned on me why they were smelled. Because them onions can leave a really rancid smell. But if you have any ideas about fixing that one little area, let me know. One of these days I'll figure it out. And if I don't, I'll just. I have no idea what to do. But maybe one of these days I'll figure out what to do with that one little corner. I've never had one little area that was so hard for me to figure out what to do with. That one little corner right there is taking me forever. I've been working in this yard for like 3 years now and still haven't figured out what to do with that area. So thanks for watching. Take one day at a time. Take a few feet at a time and work in your garden. Y'all take care. Stay safe and God bless. I'm here to show you my poppies. These, see how big the bloom is by my hand. These two were in bloom when I got home from work this morning. About 3 years ago, I put some seeds out through here, and these have come back from seeds from plants that were here last year. So I'm hoping to remember next year, if any of them come up, to get them moved when they just come up and have their true leaves. Poppies don't like to have their roots disturbed, but they're a beautiful plant. I don't know the names of these. My mother, I was taking her for a ride up towards Sneedville, and she saw these in a woman's yard. She had a big patch of them, and she stopped and asked the lady for some of them, and she told her that when they went to seed, she'd mail her some, and she mailed Mom those seeds, and I've been trying to keep up with them. I've got some I'm going to give to my brother, because he asked for some of them. But the seeds I planted 3 years ago, I had carried them things around since my early 20s. And I was really surprised when they come up. I'm tickled to death that they did, because I just knew I'd lost them. I mean, those seeds had to be 30, 35 years old. And I didn't keep them in anything. I just threw them in a drawer. So I kept them in a old spice bottle. So it was really a surprise to see them come up. I thought I'd share those with you, to tell you about my poppies.